If you come from the early access of this game, then you know how broken stealth was, range stealth was. And they did change everything and they fixed everything, but fear not, I think that all of those changes were for the good. Now stealth has never been more fun, it's funnier than was ever before. And yes, you can still solo clear entirety of camps, as I'm going to about to showcase you, as you are seeing on the screen right now. But basically on the early access, what you would do is just attacking hide, attacking hide, attacking hide, and usually the enemy would never go after you. So what happens in here, what you do now, the changes that they did in stealth, basically they changed stealth into actions. Previously on the early access, any class would be able to attack and immediately go back into stealth. Now it is not possible. But I still did find some little solutions and workarounds for this to work a little bit better. That said, the other thing that they did, and this is the major change and what makes everything so much more amazing, is that you now have a last known location. And what that means is basically that every time that you hide and then attack an enemy, they are not just going to stand in there mindlessly like they used to do on the early access. Now they are going to be actively looking for you. Well, not yes, sometimes they will actively be looking for you at the last known location that you were. We can still take advantage of this, but it's going to require a little bit more care on your side. If you mess up, it's going to be real bad for you. The thing is, the amazing thing about it all is that you are a rogue and you are going to be based on dexterity, so you're going to have lots of initiative, which is going to be hugely important for this to work, for this to be fixed like we are going to be doing right now. And also it's going to give you lots and lots of armor class for those tricky situations where the enemy thus manages to find you, because sometimes we're not perfect, we make mistakes, and the enemy is going to find us. But that is why I love this so much more now, because now you can mess up, and if you play properly, you can be a master ninja assassin that is going to clear entire battlefields, entire camps, and no one is going to notice you, and you are going to be able to do it solo. It's just that it's funnier, it's more engaging than it used to be on the early access, where it was just you abusing of a single game mechanic that wasn't working as it was intended to work. Now it works as it is intended, and I am about to demonstrate to you right now. So basically, we're going to be using Rogue, and yes, you can multi-class to make this thing work, and as a matter of fact, there's going to be tons of multi-class choices that you are going to be having to be able to use this thing, but mainly what we are interested in is going to receive the bonus action hide. Also, this is going to be hugely important for us. The cunning action, dash, and all of this, they are going to be bonus action. And this build or this setup, this is not going to work if we are not rogues, because now we do have stealth, as you can see right here, hide as a bonus action. But one, it's just not going to be enough, so you are going to necessarily have to take another level into the rogue to be able to get the new chosen subclass, which we have right here. Necessarily, and this is mandatory, this unfortunately, if you wanted to be an arcane trickster or you wanted to be an assassin, unfortunately this is not going to work for you. It's necessarily, I've tried it, it's necessarily going to be thief, because thief is going to give you fast hands, which gives you an additional bonus action, and since you do have stealth as a bonus action from the previous level, you are going to be able to use both stealth and dash, and that is going to be our main weapon that we're always going to be using. So basically the idea is still the same as it used to be on the early access. You are going to attack someone, and when you attack someone, you are going to immediately go back into hiding, but sometimes if you're fast enough, sometimes you are going to be able to kill enemies right there on the spot, especially on the higher levels where you get heavier weapons, stronger skills and class features and whatnots. But in the early stages of the game, where enemies are very beefy and you do not have that many means of dealing that much damage, you are going to necessarily have to enter into combat. What is going to help us right here is our high dexterity. Your dexterity should be your prioritizing stat. You should always have your high dexterity at maximum, because as soon as you enter combat, you want to take advantage of the new mechanic, which is going to be that line of sight that you leave on the battlefield when you hide. And this is going to be the most important thing of it all. We're going to have some little tips and tricks how to mostly take advantage of this thing, but the basics is that the enemy sees you, you are going to cast dash, and I cannot stress how important it is to first cast dash, because when you cast dash, you are going to find a way where the enemy is not going to, you're not going to be able to enter into hiding in the line of sight of the enemy, so you have to find a way to be away of the line of sight of the enemy, then you enter into hiding. The thing is that since you have dash, the enemy is going to start actively looking for you, but they are not going to go beyond that last line of sight that they got on you, the phantom stealth that you leave on the battlefield. That's where you need to know that you need to get away from that thing as soon as possible. If you get away from that thing, you can just immediately run away because of the dash. Remember, we have 2 bonus actions. Because of the dash that you have, you are going to be able to get away from that position. The enemy is going to look for you for a little while, just for a little while, and then is going to leave. But here's the thing, they are not going to heal, they are going to have the same health, so basically you are going to rinse and repeat. As soon as they go back to their usual position where they used to be previously, you're going to immediately enter into stealth and rinse and repeat the process back again. And then again, there's many things that you can do to actually take advantage of this thing. You can also do a hit and run kind of guerrilla tactics, where you hit the enemy and then you leave before you actually start the combat, if you're lucky enough to not trigger combat. If you kill someone, and then the rest of the friends are going to be looking for you, because that's something that I love. It just feels like the adrenaline rush that you have for the enemies actively looking for you. The thing is that they are always going to be looking at that last known location of your character. So if you get away from that last known location, they are at some point going to stop looking for you. Once they stop looking for you, you can take advantage of the situation and then go back and start hitting once again. And yes, the process is going to be longer, you're going to take more time. If this is how stealth going to work, you might as well just take your entire party and just raid the campments, the enemy campments. But now, the thing about this, the thing that I love about this, is that now this is an option. Now this is a choice. You can also take advantage of high places, the verticality of the game, where the enemies are not going to be looking for you, and the shadows and the line of sight of the enemy, because the line of sight of the enemy does not go through walls. So if you're, for example, standing behind a statue, like I am doing right here, you are going to feel like an amazing assassin. The enemy is going to be looking for you, they are not going to be able to find you, and as soon as they turn around and they try to get away from you, you are going to get outside from there and start killing and killing and killing again. Also, one thing that you can do, and something that I highly advise for you to do, is that, remember, this is just guerrilla warfare. The enemies are going to be fighting against you, you're going to be striking down from the shadows, and what you want to do is, every time that you get away from the enemy, do not just immediately cast dash and then hide. Remember that those are extra actions, meaning that you can use an action to use your bow, to throw a grenade, to attack from the distance, to attack with your ranged weapon, and then you immediately go back into hiding, and you are still causing damage, you're still running away from the enemy, and you are playing this amazing, beautiful, stealthy game of hide and seek, where they're never going to be able to find you. And oh boy, I think that this is how they intended for stealth to be, and I'm really happy that this works right now, because now this completely feels like a stealth game. You really do feel like a ninja, like a ranged assassin, and I just can't stress enough how amazing it feels to play like this and be actively moving and swapping places around, instead of just being able to standing in there abusing of a mechanic that it's probably not how it was intended to work. But anyways, if you have a little bit more advice, I will have separate individual builds that are going to take advantage of this thing, so stay tuned on the channel if you want to take a look at those. But if no one told you today, you're a gorgeous and beautiful person. You are indeed a gorgeous and beautiful, beautiful person. Remember to like the video, subscribe to the channel before you close the door, and I'll be seeing you goddamn gorgeous and beautiful people in the next one. A beautiful day, and goodbye.